You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, B&B fans. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt. And if you're a Thorne Forrester fan, have I got some good news for you. It is about Windsor Harmon's return and what's ahead for him and his character on the CBS soap. We're going to unpack it all, but first, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And now let's talk. So Eric Forrester's big party is happening this week, although Donna wants him to forget about it because of his near fatal collapse, but he won't. And instead, he's more intent on throwing the gala, and he summons some of his children. As of now, we've only been told that Thorne Forrester is back on Tuesday the 5th, and then Bridget Forrester on Wednesday the 6th as Eric's big final party begins. But everyone's asking, what about Felicia Forrester, Rick Forrester, and other family members? You know, I've seen no signs that Jacob Young is heading back to the CBS soap opera or any of the others, but maybe they'll surprise us. I'd sure love to see all of Eric's kids there, and I think the rest of you would too. Then again, as far as they know, when they come to town and when they get this invitation, it's just about a party, not a possible funeral soon because their patriarch is dying. Of course, it won't be long until Thorne and Bridget both learn their father is dying and that he's hiding it from everyone and that everyone's hiding from him that they all know he's dying, but he doesn't know that they know. Talk about convoluted. At least Ridge finally told Zende that Eric's dying. But of course, that conversation had to come with the reveal that Eric really lost the fashion challenge. I mean, that didn't need repeated again, did it? But Ridge's little clone, RJ, had to open his big mouth and blab it. Of course, all that does is give Zende more ammunition for why RJ shouldn't be designing at Forrester Creations. He's got no experience and the project he worked on lost. So that may backfire on RJ. Anyway, the big questions are, how long is Thorne Forrester staying, and are we getting Windsor Harmon for a couple of episodes, for a couple of weeks, or maybe longer? Well, I've got some information on that. We know that the first batch of scripts Windsor got was a week's worth, according to him, and it sounds like he's still filming even now. So we're not going to have a Thorne in and out thing really fast. We may have Thorne through Christmas, but if it's up to Windsor Harmon, we will have Thorne Forrester for a lot longer, maybe even permanently. Here's what Windsor Harmon said about wanting to stay long-term at B&B. First of all, he could use the work. He lost out on a sitcom because of COVID, and then he lost an indie film that he was excited about because of the recent writer's strike and actor's strike. So he was literally sitting around doing not much when Bold called to ask him if he could return. He jumped at the chance, and the good news is Windsor Harmon still lives locally. He's in Santa Barbara, about 90 minutes from the CBS studio set, so he's in the right place to stay around for a while. And Windsor told Soap Opera Digest that he's hoping Thorne gets to stay around this time. So with that in mind, let's dive into 5 reasons they should keep Thorne Forrester around on Bold and the Beautiful. Number 1, if Eric Forrester does die, Thorne would be another family designer to help run Forrester Creations. And in case you don't recall, Thorne is indeed a skilled designer. Long before Thomas joined the team, in fact, Thorne was the lead designer on the Hope for the Future line when it was kicking butt back in the day. The second reason is that Thorne would be a great love interest for Taylor Hayes, if she's sticking around. For the record, Krista Allen's contract is up in December, and there's no word yet on whether they renewed her. If they did, we should see her at Eric's party, right? And if she's not there, I'm going to worry that she's been dropped to recurring status or, worst case, written out. But if Taylor does stick around, pairing her with Thorne so she can avoid the dusty destiny and tired triangle with Brooke and Ridge, that would be great if she had a man of her own. And it'd be nice to see him with a non-Logan, right? Thorne's last relationship on Bold was his marriage to Katie Logan back when Ingo Rademacher was recast in the role, but they ended abruptly when the actor left the soap. All right, the third reason that we need Thorne back long-term, he would bring some balance back to the workplace and some humility, much needed humility. Ridge is giving off these really annoying, I'm the king of the design world vibes, and I would love Thorne to take him down a notch or 2 or 3 or 10. 10 would be good. And Thorne could help find the funding to get Hope for the Future back on track because he's a big fan of the line. Remember, Eric's lavish spending on his last line is what got Hope for the Future pushed onto the back burner, despite it being one of their most profitable lines. So maybe Thorne could reverse that. The fourth reason that we need Thorne to stick around is, remember, Thorne is the only biological Forrester in the building when he returns to Forrester Creations this week. Not to belittle Ridge's connection to Eric, but it would be nice for an offspring of the original founders, Stephanie and Eric Forrester, to be running their namesake company. Of course, for that to happen, Eric would need to leave Thorne all of his shares in his will. When Eric finds out Ridge lied to him about the fashion challenge, maybe he'll change his will. He just recently changed it. Maybe he'll change it again and leave a pile of stock to Thorne so that he and Steffi would be the majority owners together. That would be a big slap in Ridge's face, and it's one I frankly think he deserves for telling everyone behind Eric's back that he beat him at the challenge. I mean, think about how humiliating this is going to be to Eric when it comes out. He is going to be devastated, death sentence or not. And the will and who he leaves the shares to only matters assuming Eric is going to die. At this point, with the non-specific diagnosis, and now Finn looking into the case, Bridget soon consulting on it along with another doctor, I feel like we might just get a miracle moment. Might. I'm saying might. A moment of some sort to extend Eric's life and get this death sentence sidelined. The fifth thing is, if Eric does survive, it'd be nice to see Eric and 2 of his sons, Ridge and Thorne, working with him along with 3 of his grandsons, RJ, Thomas, and Zende. And, maybe Thorne could suggest to Eric that before he tries to put RJ in charge of any other projects, he could send the kid off to design school. Maybe in Paris, for instance. And one last thing Winsor Harmon told the outlet is that he hopes the audience reacts well, and if so, maybe Brad Bell will decide to start writing for Thorne again. So, you heard it straight from the actor. If you want Thorne to stick around, Brad Bell needs to hear that fans want him. So it's time to swamp Bold's official social media channels and Brad Bell's personal channels with comments, and maybe try the hashtag #KeepThorne. All right, please click subscribe if you haven't, and also drop your comments and let me know what you think about Thorne Forrester's return to B&B. And come back soon, because I'm here with you every day talking Bold, and I can't wait for you to drop in again. This has been Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.